Well, it's been a few days. I've had a chance to get some work done. Haven't really had a chance to film anything. A lot of it's been taking place at night because that's the only time that I have to work on anything. But, so for starters, I did cut down the lid, shifted that up so it's half the size it was, added some additional bracing under the lid. It is much more stable now. I added, so there's 3 braces now, whereas before I tried to make it kind of like a screen door, so it had one in the center and then some angle pieces here. I added this additional brace so that you have finger room now. Basically, it's got a handle. And then I cut down the lid that was the covering that was on there before. I decided that I don't really care about that. I don't care about these holes. For the most part, it'll keep things dry under there, and then we're going to have this whole area that's covered and sealed up as well. So not really as worried about that. At least that's what I say right now. We'll see how it works out when we start getting some weather. But I ended up raising this up about 10 inches in the front and 8 inches in the back. Try to keep this as light as possible because this thing was already really heavy and I knew it was going to be tough. So I just did single like studs basically. There's 3 of them down this thing. One here, one in the center, and then one on the far end, and then there's a 2x4 that connects them. Obviously, this whole section is open. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, if I'm going to do anything with it. I might just leave it open. By the time birds get put in here, obviously we don't have to worry about eggs because they're meat birds, and by the time they get put in here, they're big enough that I don't really think I've got to worry about rats trying to fight them. I don't know. We'll see on that. But so I got, before anybody tells me that I'm an idiot, I already know that the grooves in the board are meant to run vertically, but if I would have put those vertically, I would have had to get a lot more pieces of wood because the way it seemed to work out. So I ran them sideways and we're just going to deal with it. Obviously this all still needs to be painted. I'm working on the top right now. I tried to cut, not really cut a corner, but kind of a combination of cutting a corner and trying to keep this thing light. That has been my main concern, is keeping the weight down. I decided that I was going to take the roof boards and I was only going to anchor them here on the crossbars that we have, and that seemed to work until we got a rainstorm the other day, and then these things got all bent up and buckled, and it wasn't willing to do that. So I picked up some 2x2, which is the lightest thing that I could get that's kind of halfway big enough to do what I needed to do. And those cross braces were already in there, but I'm adding the braces along the edge here. So like these pieces, those guys. So I'll have a frame the whole way around that I can anchor into, and I'll be able to screw this thing in all the way down the edge. So I think that'll work out fine. Now that that's done, I do still have to do something with this big area here where the door used to be. I haven't really made up my mind. I've got some chicken wire somewhere, but this is like, I don't know, I think this is wider than whatever. So I'll probably have to run a board down the middle and overlap a couple pieces of chicken wire to close that off. But we will take a look at that a little closer when we get to that point. So we've got the roof on. We got some tar paper on the roof because I had it left over from the chicken coop. And we got some drip edge that I had left over from the house onto the front of that and painted. Obviously, I still have to paint the rest of this, and I don't have enough shingles right now to shingle the top of that, and I don't have the money to buy shingles. So I guess it's going to operate like this for a little while. We'll probably get it painted this afternoon. I got other things to do today, but I don't have enough chicken wire for this either, so I still have to figure out what I'm going to do there. But we've got the room now to put in a roost bar. I still actually have not put in the roost bar. We're gonna, on those inside sideboards over there, we're gonna put a block, kind of just how I did this, just a 2x4 screwed into the side of it, and then on top of that we'll screw another 2x4 in it to run side to side, and that'll give the chickens the ability to get up off the ground. So that's what we're gonna do. We just got to get to the point where we can do it. Well, as usual, what started out as a good idea, it's been a complete waste of time and money. So it's got a roof on it, and it's mostly painted except for that piece down there. And the chicken tractor is now too heavy to move. The wheels sink into the soil, and the thing can barely be lifted because it's so heavy. So it's pretty much garbage. I'm gonna put this video out and don't do what I did.